Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the very first episode of Garfield SALC's new podcast, Our Words. I'm Mr. Miller, and I am pleased to be one of the 5 SALC teachers, along with Mr. Flores, Miss Sitar, Miss Robinson, and Miss Deanna Diaz. And we're really proud of everything that our students have been doing this year, and this podcast is just the latest of the many things that they have been doing to try and raise school spirit and improve Garfield as we know it. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you your hosts for the first few episodes, who will be focusing on Women's History Month, Sasha and Natalie.
Hello.
Hey guys. So before we want to start off by saying women's words of wisdom.
Women will be hiding no more. We will not remain hidden figures. We have names by Janelle Monáe.
Yes, and now we introduce our teacher for today is Miss Cummings. She is a very well-known teacher and is very loved by the community. So we want to start off by saying we want to ask you, who is a woman that influenced you in your life to become the woman that you are now?
Well, there's a number of women in my life that have really influenced me, and it helped me grow. I would have to say probably my number one is my mom, and then after my mom would be my grandmas, and then it would be my aunts. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about them so you can see the firecrackers we are.
Okay.
So my mom, she was a nurse in military hospitals in the NICU, and so she was working and she had 5 children.
Oh, wow.
So my mom has always encouraged us to work and to get our education and always made that a priority in our life. She's always been very kind, compassionate, but we've also been very assertive to not take any crap from anyone. And then for my grandmothers, who also played a huge influence on my life, they lived through World War I, World War II, and the Cold War. They helped put many of my uncles into the United States military academies, and we have seen some of my uncles passed away from military service. But they've always been there to support the families and encourage all of us in ways that we can grow. So even if we wanted to just hang out with my grandma and just, read a book or learn a skill, they would always be there ready to be like, let's try it out. Always. Mm-hmm. And then my aunts, because of this influence, are everything from American Red Cross nurses, lawyers, to caregivers. So we are all over the place.
Wow, that's
with multiple careers.
So you have like a professional family, we can say.
We're really diverse, I would say. So not everyone went in to become a lawyer. Not everyone went in to become a Red Cross nurse. Not everyone went in to become a caregiver. And some even changed. So I had one of my aunts, she worked for the government. Then as she started having her family, she changed her role and to become a caregiver.
Wow.
So
we have some very, a diversity and also like making the world a better place, because each individual makes the world a better place. And
You've got a lot of noble professions in that family.
Mm-hmm. So there's another questions that we will ask you is, who is the woman in history who inspired you and why? Do you have
you are a history teacher.
I am a history teacher. Surprisingly, I didn't prep for this question. I was prepped with one question going, family members that have influenced you. So I was like, okay, let's go through my family tree. You want to do a quick search for me?
A quick search?
Yeah. I mean, there's many, we have many suffragettes that, got us our right to vote, which I'm all about.
Yeah.
So
do you have one in specific, like, that you think identifies with you?
No.
Not really?
That's U.S. history, guys. I teach world.
Well, what about world history? What about Queen, is it Elizabeth the First?
Queen Elizabeth the First. With her lead paint makeup.
Okay, maybe not her.
And let's start colonialism and all, maybe, no.
Maybe not? Okay. What about?
But maybe Elizabeth II, longest ruling monarch for England. Did some good, did some bad.
Yeah.
She was okay. She nearly got that world record for being longest ruling monarch in Europe.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that in class. It was, you were rooting for her to keep living, but sadly she passed away.
It always happened.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I opened my mouth.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I opened my mouth.
Mm-hmm. So talking about generations and like how you as a teacher shape this generations coming forth, what is something you are doing to help women be like leaders in the future, let's say, or somebody?
I think one of the biggest things, and you can probably talk about it as a student who's been in my class, is I try to make it a priority for you guys to learn compassion, not only for each other in the classroom, but others in the school, but to also be that little bit assertive where you're not putting yourself down and to strive for your goals. Because I don't want you to go out there in the world and not have a goal to make your life better and to do something better for you when you get out there. So I'm hoping that's something you have taken away from me.
Yes,
That's something, that's something that was drilled in me from my family.
Well, thank you for shaping our generation and for hopefully changing many others for the good. All right.
All right, everybody, that is our first episode of Our Words. Thank you to Miss Cummings, and thank you to Sasha and Nadeline for hosting this episode. We'll hope you join us again next week for our second episode with a new special teacher guest.